The Spectre has been a beloved gun within the Valorant metagame for its insane flexibility and for its potential as an anti-eco weapon. Although it's in fact an excellent choice for many players, there is one gun that you should actually be buying instead, and that is the Ares. Now, I've always thought that the Ares has brought an excellent value proposition in its capabilities and the situations in which it can be useful, but when it comes into practice, there's very few situations in which players actually buy it. This video aims to help better contextualize the strength of the Ares, especially against something like the Spectre, and why you should definitely consider it at the top of your list for a future purchase. So let's start with understanding more about the Ares in its current state and what kind of gun it is. It's the budget LMG in the game right now, being priced at 1550 credits at the time of recording. It carries 50 bullets per mag and has 100 extra bullets in reserve upon purchase. Upon firing, its initial rate of fire is 10 bullets per second, and as you fire, it begins to scale up to 13 bullets per second. The gun offers a 1.25 times zoom when you choose to aim down sights and reduces its spread slightly while also firing at its maximum right away. The gun also has high wall penetration, making it really useful for spray downs of certain choke areas or breachable doors like Haven Garage, or more practically just burning a mag to mow down a sage wall. It can also of course be used to spam through corners to put pressure on enemies potentially sitting there. High wall penetration allows you to break through any material except for metal, so it's actually quite easy to wallbang people with the right information. Agents like Sova very commonly use these guns to cheese out opponents and make them run in these scenarios. Although the gun doesn't have insane walking accuracy, neither do many guns in the game anymore thanks to some recent nerfs. And for holding down angles or trying to take extended range battles, the Ares is surprisingly reliable for those situations as well. The large magazine that it carries makes it extremely convenient for making executes or taking down multiple opponents at once without having to reload a magazine. Setting up shop and crouching while holding an angle turns the Ares from a decent gun into what's essentially a mini turret beam, making it both extremely accurate and increases its damage significantly. As a defensive tool, it creates this crazy amount of pressure that forces enemies to have to respect it. Based on what I've told you so far though, you might be able to think that the Ares is a pretty good gun already, and it does do a little bit of everything here and there, and while its playstyle may take a bit of time to get used to, you can appreciate it much more once you compare it to some of its competitors. So what is the Ares up against in order to contest? There's a few guns potentially in question here, but there's very few guns that truly meet that perfect middle ground pricing that the Ares looks to answer. This is what eventually brings up the title of this video, which is how we're comparing the power of the Ares to the Spectre, which is its closest competitor. When you put the two side by side, they're very comparable in a lot of ways. They're great economy options, they're both all-rounders that allow the user to provide in a variety of situations, and can be great transitional guns to both lead you off to a strong round and half start when you're winning, and an opportunity to come back when you're low on funds. So why is it that the Ares is actually severely underrated versus the Spectre, and why am I recommending you the Ares right now? Well, let's take a look at exactly what's differentiating these two guns and why when we look at these differences that makes the Ares such a compelling offer. In terms of price, the Ares comes out cheaper than the Spectre right now, edging it out in its 1550 price tag versus the 1600 that the Spectre commands. Compared to the Spectre in stats, you can actually kind of see that the Ares pretty much stat checks it in a lot of categories here. The Ares competes with the Spectre's DPS, has 50 bullets to the Spectre's 30, has better range and less damage fall off than the Spectre, and the unique spammability thanks to the high wall penetration. The Spectre still has some advantages with its silent shots, increased flexibility with its run and gun potential, a faster reload and equip speed, and better first shot accuracy. However, all of these advantages that the Spectre don't provide a meaningful advantage to the Spectre user, as silent shots, faster usage, and first shot accuracy mean nothing on a gun that has no range and a bad headshot damage ratio. The ability to sort of run and gun with the Spectre is definitely a decent perk to have, allowing you to play like a little rat in certain scenarios, but without a doubt, the things that the Ares brings to the table are pretty insane here. One other thing to consider that isn't on paper here is the spray pattern, where the Spectre definitely has an easier time in hipfire mode, but even this is mitigated as long as you make good use of the Ares' ADS mode. That turns it into a surprisingly accurate gun to use. So as long as you're able to change your playstyle to accommodate it, I genuinely think there are a lot of situations where the Ares is the superior gun over the Spectre, and which is why I think that the gun should have more presence in both your games and even in the fields of competitive play. Of course, there's good reason for the Spectre being good at higher levels since it provides really good mobility and feels really good to use, but the Ares also feels really good, just in different ways. So if you're able to adapt your playstyle, the Ares is an absolute beast of a gun, and you should definitely be trying it in your games if you haven't been already. So that's all from me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and stay fresh.